there was a rumor about this circulating in my boxing group last week, and I think it was even doing the rounds on Twitter as well. It's now been made official. Billy Joe Saunders has split from his longtime promoter, Frank Warren. I think that Frank Warren did a very good job with Billy Joe Saunders through the first phase of his career. He guided him from his pro debut, the traditional route, British, Commonwealth, European titles, got him domestic dust up against Chris Eubank Jr., and then eventually moved up to world level and got him that world title shot against Andy Lee, which he obviously won. So we got to give credit where credit's due. Frank Warren did a very, very good job in the first phase of Billy Joe's career, building him and getting him all those fights. But once Billy Joe became WBO champion, he stagnated. And Frank Warren was unable to secure him the big fights, the Canelos, the Golovkins. He just couldn't deliver those fights for Billy Joe. Now, let's be fair, we can't blame it all on Frank Warren, because I think Billy Joe, by his own admission, would tell you that he wasn't always the most disciplined fighter between fights. And I guess it's a situation where he might say that because he wasn't getting the big names, it was difficult to get himself up for these lesser opponents. Perhaps he would say that. But at the same time, there's such a thing as being a professional. So I think it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. For whatever reason, Billy Joe and Frank Warren's relationship just started getting a little stale. Don't get it twisted. Frank Warren also did a good job getting Billy Joe a world title fight at super middleweight, for a vacant belt. Billy Joe picked it up, a stadium fight of sorts in his, not necessarily his hometown, but his home county in Stevenage in Hertfordshire. So you got a big Frank Warren up for that as well. But ultimately, he wasn't able to secure him that domestic showdown against Callum Smith. Billy Joe is knocking on the door of 30 years of age now. He wants them big fights. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it is broke, then you need to change something. You need to fix something. And that's what Billy Joe's doing right now. Apparently, it's an amicable split, which I'm glad to hear. I don't want to hear about no lawsuits and no, funny business like that. I'm glad it's, as far as I'm aware, an amicable split, and Billy Joe can go on and try and secure those big fights with a different promoter. And that is the most intriguing aspect of this news, is who Billy Joe Saunders will choose as his new promoter. Because a lot of people, including myself, automatically assumed that it's going to be Eddie Hearn. Right? Because Eddie Hearn has got Callum Smith. Eddie Hearn has also got people like Demetrius Andrade. And Eddie Hearn has got this relationship with DAZN in the United States. And of course, DAZN is where all the big middleweight fights are at in America. However, Billy Joe is currently at super middleweight. Will he continue to campaign at super middle? And if he does, who's the best promoter to go with? Again, Callum Smith is at super middleweight and Eddie Hearn's got him. But PBC have also got a number of super middleweights in the United States. Is there a chance that Billy Joe might not do the obvious thing and sign with Eddie Hearn, but instead base himself in the United States and sign with Al Heyman? We'll see. Personally, I'm a little dubious in terms of how well Al Heyman can do for Billy Joe at this juncture. If it was a couple of years ago, I would have been more optimistic. But right now, Al Heyman seems to be a lot more conservative in terms of the moves that he's making than he was a few years ago when PBC was spread across multiple different networks. Now it's just 2 networks, Showtime and Fox. That's it. So, going to be interesting to see what Billy Joe Saunders does. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Would Billy Joe be better off signing with Eddie Hearn? And look, Billy Joe and Eddie Hearn, I don't think they've had a bad relationship over the years, but the Andrade situation certainly left a bad taste in the mouth of Frank Warren at the time and Billy Joe's dad. I mean, Billy Joe's dad came out, I think it was in an IFL interview at the time after the Andrade situation. And he actually offered Eddie Hearn a straightener. He accused Eddie Hearn of taking boxing back to the days of when the mob were running it, when the Italian-American mafia were running it. And yeah, he accused Eddie Hearn of being that corrupt. Like when the mob were running boxing. So is there still bitter feelings from Team Saunders or certain members of Team Saunders towards Eddie Hearn? I don't think there'll be any bitter feelings from Eddie Hearn. Hearn is a businessman, and he really doesn't give a damn if you've insulted him in the past or any of that kind of business. If he finds an opportunity to work with you and he thinks you can make money, then he'll work with you. You don't care what you've called. You don't care what you've called him in the past. That's how money hungry Eddie Hearn is. You know, Eddie Hearn will happily put his pride aside for a pound note. We know that. Yeah, it's not like with Frank Warren. Frank Warren is a much more prideful and bitter kind of character where he does hold long-term grudges and all this kind of stuff. Whereas Eddie Hearn is just, he doesn't want to let grudges get in the way of him making money. That's what it's really all about with Eddie. So you could have called this guy every name under the sun, but if he thinks you've got some commercial value, he'll say, let's put that aside and make some money together. So I don't think Eddie will have any issue at all working with Billy Joe, working with Billy's dad. It's just whether Billy and his people have got an issue working with Eddie. Now we've seen a couple of days ago, Huey Fury in a surprise move, joining Eddie Hearn. And of course, Huey Fury, a couple of years ago I think it was in the lead up to the Parker fight, at a press conference called Eddie Hearn a cockroach. And there seemed to be quite a lot of venom in his voice when he said it. Now he's promoted by Eddie Hearn, fighting on Sky and all that kind of stuff. So boxing's a funny old game. Let's see what Billy Joe decides to do. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who should Billy Joe go with by way of a promoter? Do you think it's a mistake of him to depart with Frank Warren? I personally don't think it is. Again, I think Frank Warren did a very good job with Billy Joe for the first phase of Billy's career. But after that, the relationship just got stale. And as I've been very consistent, with this on my channel for many years now, when I say that there's no room for fighters to be loyal in boxing. You've got a very short career, a very short window within which to make life-changing sums of money. There's no time for you to be loyal to a promoter, loyal to a trainer, loyal to this. No time for that. Because when your prime years are done and you can't make big money anymore, that promoter can still promote. That trainer can still train. That manager can still manage. Young fighters, relevant fighters, they can still do that. But your boxing career, your opportunity to make life-changing sums of money is over. So, given that fact, you cannot start getting all sentimental with people. If you're a boxer, you have to be selfish. You have to put yourself first. At the end of the day, you're the one getting in the ring, risking your life. Not Frank Warren, not Eddie Hearn, not any of the trainers, you. You're the one putting in the hard graft in the gym, running the miles and the miles on the road, dieting, getting down to weight, doing all the hard stuff. So you got to be selfish when it comes to getting the rewards of all that hard work. Yeah? Got a small window within which to capitalize on it. So I think Billy Joe's doing the right thing. And time will tell if he makes the right decision in terms of the next promoter he decides to sign with. I think I would probably guess the most likely would be Eddie Hearn, because you can get that Callum Smith fight done pretty easily if he signs with Hearn. But I wouldn't rule out him going a different direction. Maybe signing with PBC or, trying to self-promote. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.